right. Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. Um, Pretty sure everything's gonna get messed up. I think I fixed a little something, but let's see real quick. I'm just gonna play the song and let the homies roll in. I'm gonna check on my side, make sure everything is good. I think we're good. I can't freaking believe this. I don't know what happened last time, but let's just listen for a bit. No vocals. Alright, so we are good. Yo, what is up? Yeah, I was just trying to stream for like 30 minutes and it wasn't working. But we're good. So this is the song. Time to go. Turn the rest of the music down a tad. Doink. Okay. Get a little save in. So this is the song Time to Go. Wrote, produced it, sang on it myself. Super wild. I like it a lot. It's very simple. It's a lot less like intensive than some of my other tracks. But, boom. Okay, so yeah, a lot of my other songs are just a lot crazier track-wise in general, but also within the past year or so, I've gotten really good at simplifying my workflow and kind of doing more with less. So this song was very reminiscent, very inspired from this song by San Holo called Worthy. Specifically the like stripped down acoustic version, not the one he just put out, but this one, the Stingray Songbook Session. I'm gonna play it right quick, just so you can be like, oh, sick, so you just like stole the song from him. I think it's in the same key too. Okay, didn't even realize it was in the same key, but yeah, just like, I mean, everything about that song inspired this. The riff, kind of the textures of it, even like the lyrical content. The song is called Worthy, and it's about like, am I worthy to be, I don't know, yours, I guess. And this song is about kind of the same thing, I guess. Whatever. I'm not going to go into lyrics. All right. So let's start off here at the beginning. Should I put a little compressor? A nice little compressor. What is my problem? Let's jack this thing up. Hello, check, check, check. How loud can I go if I'm quiet or loud? Wow. Can't believe this. Love me a good compressor. Pee pee poo poo. Okay. Anyways, is this a good idea? Don't know. Probably will take it off. All right, let's start in the beginning. So really quick, the version on Spotify is not the actual version of the song, because I originally, like, the song on Spotify just starts right here. But there's all this stuff before it that you'll hear, like before, like if you watch the YouTube video, basically the music video, there's all this stuff before it. and that was a misunderstanding between me and the label. I gave them the shorter version, and they're like, sick. And then a few days later, I was like, never mind, use this. And they're like, okay. And then it came out, and I was like, oh, I guess they forgot to redo it, but it's my fault, obviously, for being confusing. Not a big deal. All right, so right off the bat, check this out. This is a sample of like an orchestra tuning. Very nostalgic for a boy like me, growing up in the orchestra, hearing that before you start, you know, and then everything quiets down, and then they play some Tchaikovsky or whatever. And then there's all this like guitar flutter stuff. And this is just me like scraping the chords and like just like kind of twiddling around, like D major vibes in general. And I froze this improperly, so we're not going to hear the rest of that. A lot of this stuff is frozen. And frozen means like it's not like, let's say I'm playing a synthesizer and I record it with the MIDI, like the computer is going to like actively be recreating and synthesizing those sounds. But if I print it down to audio, then my computer does like 1,000,000 times less work. So we got this orchestra tuning, and I'm doing some weird twillies on the guitar. And this little harmonic thing is, it like fades in at the beginning. These are just some harmonics on the guitar. You'll notice I also have a sample of kids playing in the park. And there's a very loud dog bark in there that I wish I took out, but I didn't. Got a cute little reverse sound. And then I have this insertation. It's like a cassette tape being inserted. I feel like I was trying to get a lot of like nostalgia vibes going on, so you know, having the record cassette being put in, it's like something from the past is about to happen, or some memory, whatever. And then for the longest time, we just have this nice little guitar part, and I'm gonna pull something up interesting about this guitar part. So like I mentioned, you know, there's the orchestra tuning in the beginning. My first instrument was cello. Grew up a little bit in the orchestra. So listen to this. This is Bach's Cello Suite in G major, the prelude. It's like the most famous cello piece. Okay, that opening chord. Da-na-na. If we listen to the song slowed down by a billion. In fact, if I wanted to really go for it and make this apparent enough for you, if I speed it up and pitch it, it's Bach's Cello Suite in G major. I went up too high, but anyways, jeez, this is gonna take so long if I'm just like talking this slow about everything. Okay, so the song just starts with that, which is really weird for me to have like just one element in a song going on. I'm so like maximalistic in my production that I want to have like 1,000,000 things happening. I also have this really nice like bell chime thing with a lot of reverb on it as like a little cymbal sort of thing. Don't know if anyone's watching, but if you are, say what's good. Alright, into a little bit of the next part. So I have this little counter melody, and there's a lot of instruments playing that. We have this slide guitar. I always wanted a slide guitar in a song. So that's me playing on my guitar with a slide. I think it's actually just like my phone, the side of my phone, sliding between the notes. We also have this cute little sound. Video vibes, I guess, video game stuff. Toy piano sound. And this is one of my favorite sounds. It's from Cymatic's Porter Robinson pack. And I put it all together, and it sounds real cute, like this. Nice. I also have this reverse sound. I mean, if you produce music, you know how to make that, but you basically like record the sound, put a bunch of reverb, and reverse it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. Here, there's a few layers of ambience here. So I have this. This is just like a sound from Cymatics. It's like a synth layer. Sounds kind of vocal. Kind of cool. I had to pitch that up. I also have this guitar tremolo with a bunch of reverb. So that's playing the synth. This thing is playing scale degree 1. This one's playing scale degree 5. So together, like, that's a fifth. That makes like a pretty open interval. I do that a lot just to create like a lot of space or, I don't know, depth, whatever. We have that counter melody that comes back, but this time it's harmonized with the other slide guitar. And those are just, yeah, those are just thirds. Very basic harmony sort of thing. Cool, there's a few, let me make sure I'm good right now because I'm just assuming nothing's working because I don't think anyone's watching me right now. Nope, I am working. I'm just a loser. I'm gonna post a quick little IG boy. How do I do this? Literally live right now. All right. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so this part's pretty cool because there's two things that are really happening. Well, there's a few things that are happening for this whole thing to build, but just listen to it. Okay, this is the like unmastered version, by the way. I have my friend Joel master my stuff, so it doesn't sound quite as like big and crazy. Mastering is when you give someone like the finished package and they just like make it sound better, like louder basically. Okay, so let's go over all these like little build things. First, we have literal drums. Literal, they're not fake. not metaphorical. And this is actually me playing a tom drum. The distortion is on purpose, and then there's a kick and snare thing with it too. So for any of you who are true Scro fans, really going back to the old days, I put out this song called You Are. That was like a rock acoustic. It was like a punk rock indie sort of song, and I played all the instruments on it. So this is actually the drum part from that song, because I wanted a really natural like drum sound for this build up to go with like the sort of indie vibe guitar thing. So yeah, that's actually me playing the tom and snare. Is just from a different song. They're like already processed and stuff, so I don't know exactly like what could have been happening in the processing for that, but that's a pretty important little element. It's the guitar thing that's still going on. I added this little guitar, like it's a little bit heavier distorted, I guess, so it gives it a little more oomph. Got some reverse sounds. Very tight. And then the coolest, one of my favorite, you guys know I'm an arpeggio boy. Turn that back down. So listen to this. This is like my favorite part. Yes, those are the same notes just for Stranger Things. Sweet. So you can see I'm just holding down this chord. I can do it with any chord. Anyways, so I'm just like holding down the chord, but there's a few lanes of automation going on here. The most important is the BPM of the arpeggio. And so you can see it starts slow and it gradually gets faster and faster. It's just like a simple square wave, by the way. And then I always do this. I think this is what you should be doing anyways. Like, to really build like energy, you shouldn't have like a straight line like that. It's like, I mean, it'll do the job, but when it like really like almost exponentially builds at the end, it sounds a lot better. In fact, it would have been better just to do an actual like curled shape rather than two straight lines. And then there's some pan automation going from the left to the right. I don't know if it'll come through, but yeah, it's like in the right ear, and then it goes to the left, and then it's in the right. Okay, so a few levels of vibes going on, and then all together. Very cool. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Obviously, I'm like, dude, I suck. There's no one here. I'm such a big stinker. Yeah, that works. I'm making sure all the links work and everything, but whatever. This will be up on YouTube, so I guess it'll be cool just to have. Okay, the drop. Let's listen to it. Oh yeah, and you know where I say, I guess it's time to go. I actually recorded myself like screwing around with my guitar cable. And did that. All right, let's listen to the Sweet. Okay. So drums. I won't really talk about it too much. It's easier just to kind of mute stuff, whatever. So kick. You can see I did a little volume thing there. Boom. Boom. So that kicks a little bit quieter. Like if you're, this is like you could definitely play this in like a rock band. And in fact, if I ever like play it live, which I will for sure, like I would love to have a drummer actually play it. So most of my music, it's just like, it's basically rock music that I just reproduce into EDM. So that's how the drummer would play that. Like would probably, you know, when you do doubles, the first one isn't as loud. So it gives it a little bit more like natural vibe. Got some real cymbals. Nice. Some big old snares. And that's 2 samples. One of them is, and the other one is. So like a very heavy, that's definitely like a rock metal snare. And then that sounds like a trap snare or whatever, so I just put them together. And then there is I think I made this sound actually. I just like staggered a bunch of different sounds together and it sounds like a sandy piece of glass breaking. So that reverse really like helps, you know, jump into the snare basically. I have this tiny little open hi-hat here that just kind of gives, I don't know, it helps it give a little bit of movement. I thought there was like too much dead space. I like the dead space in this, but cool. And the second part, got those triplet kicks, very cool. And you can see on at the end of each phrase, I did like a big reverse snare. That's really easy. You just copy it, click reverse, and put it there, and then you got your reverse snare going. Okay, and then the next phrase, I actually got the trap hats coming in, nice and crispy. And then I guess, I don't know what I'm doing this, but some weird swipey little sound. I don't know. I don't know that reason I do have things. I have this little 3, 4, 1, 2. It's like this cute little glitchy sound. I think it's from like a Nintendo game or something. Okay, next part. Let's see what we got here, dude. What's happening? Chord stack. Alright. Nothing too weird here. We got the respace, which is like the really low bass sound. Not the sub bass, but the tone of like a chunky bass. And you can hear that movement with the filter opening it up too. It's not just it actually opens up. I don't know, gives us some character. Here's those like my staple future bass saw chords. I did this in the last stream, but this is really easy. Oh, I gotta talk about, oh, it's all printed, but dude, what am I even saying, bro? Anyways, just serum. I'll just freaking do it, man. I'll just freaking do it right here. Okay, open up good old serum. Start with your initiation patch. Put a bunch of voices on it. Detune them, boys. Not too much, because it'll sound too weird. And then just do it again, but do it an octave higher. So now you have two things doing the same thing. Oh, I'm clipping. And that's how you do it. So you notice there's also obviously like the main vibe of the song. It's not just there's this LFO thing that is on the level of these boys. Okay, and you just put it to the right speed. So it's just automating like the volume. Of course, my computer is exploding because Serum is like a million billion voices. Okay, delete that. Okay, so with the respace and with those big chords, sounds nice and chunky. And then we have these. I don't even know what this is. Let's figure it out. Oh my gosh, why is there so many effects on here? Let's pull it down then. Okay, so it sounds like it was originally like a vocal sound that I turned into like chords, basically. Add a bunch of reverb. Bit crushed it, my favorite effects. Basically like lowers the resolution. Oh, and I'm automating the bit crushing effect. Check that out. It's actually like moving a little bit. Okay, that's interesting. And then this is the LFO, which is actually doing like that rhythm. And I guess this is cutting out some lows. Didn't know that, put it all together. Okay, that's not everything though. There is more. Okay, what else is happening here, boy? Oh, the guitar is being held over. I don't think that's supposed to be happening. I think when I froze it, something happened. Okay, check that out. I think that reverb is not supposed to be there. But yeah, that's me just like playing the chords on guitar with that LFO like pumping effect. And then this is me playing the chords like lower, basically, like a chunkier voicing. And that's me playing it with like bent notes really high. And then the harmonic thing. So you know, everything is just doing this pulsing thing. That's how it sounds so like clean, sort of, because all the frequencies, all the bass, the mid, the high, whatever, it's all coming in and out like very steady. So what happens is you hear a lot of space in between everything. It's not like da 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 da. It's like da 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 da, but really fast. So you really get a sense of like the space in between. Besides the 808 that's playing. And then this is my favorite part right here. It's like the sauce of the whole song. It's just hard to say and to communicate, but it's a really cool idea. So I'm taking the chords, which is D major 7. Well, D major 9 to major whatever. There's a 7, there's a 9. And I'm basically playing the chords. Da, na, 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 na. But I think I had to program this because it's kind of difficult. So. Right. But what's happening is that I'm rolling them up and then down every beat. So. I don't think I performed it like that. Like, I think I programmed it because that's hard to do really fast. I can't do it, but. Sweet. Put it all together. Let's actually just hear the stacks. There's the chord stacks. That's not important. Oh shoot, what am I doing? Guess those are all the chord steps. Sounds very cool. And then the 808. That's what I'm talking about, brother. So this is, usually I use like a patch or something, but this is actually a sample of something from Cymatics. Surprise, surprise. It's this sound. Ooh. Okay, but I added some juice to it. Here it is by itself. Still sounds good, nice and crunchy, but let's see. I mean, I used a freaking preset, obviously. I'm a loser, I don't know how to mix. 808 Insanity from Slate Digital's virtual mix rack. And I tweaked it a little bit. So right here, it's adding a bunch of low end. Let's hear what it sounds like with each thing soloed. So here's nothing. Here's the, this is like a saturator. So it just basically distorts it. This, I don't even know what to call this. It just adds shimmer and thickness. Gotta get them thick boys. And then this just adds like a ridiculous amount of low end. This is what, 15 dB of 62 hertz. Jesus. Oh, I deleted it. Frick. Okay, good thing I said that out loud so I can put it back. 15 dB of 62 hertz. Something like that. There we go. And now it's Juicy Big Boy. Cool. That's it. It's like the important part of the song. We did it. The bass changes here, like the chords. I'm sure it's just going between a D major 7 and a G major 7. And then here it goes to relative minor. B minor 7, A, D, G, you know what I'm saying. Like one of these. Sounds like this. A little bit sadder because of that minor chord maybe. And on the second part, when we get to the vocals, we'll talk about that. There's a little bit more hi-hat stuff. And then there's this counter melody that I actually came up with like after I was done producing the song. The drop was gonna just not have that. It was gonna do it's just gonna keep going like this with like those hi-hats vibing. But I just heard this melody in my head and I freaking went for it. So this is, again, sample from Cymatics, I think from the Porter Robinson pack. And you can see that I automated like the pitch. That does a lot, automating pitch like that. If I take it out, it turns into like the most boring thing. Dude, doesn't that, after hearing the other one, doesn't that just sound like a freaking 3-year-old wrote it? But, big brain, pitch automation. And the reason that sounds good there is because when you sing that melody, here's me singing it actually. That's like, let's see, how many layers is that? 8 layers of octaves and stuff. And then there's a bunch of distortion and stuff. That's it, dry. And all the distortion and compression sounds like this. But you can hear when you, like a lot of times when you sing, you don't realize it, but you're naturally kind of bending up into notes or down into notes. So that's why when you're trying to like replicate a vocal melody, it's really important to keep in mind and be conscious of all those little bends. So it comes together or whatever. I think there's something else that's added right here. Some guitar ambience. Oh, a guitar part that isn't like LFO'd. Just like playing the ambience from before right here. Yeah, and that's it. Yo. What's up, Decaf? Perhaps you could give me a word and I'll write you a poem whilst you're making music. It'll be fun. What's your word? My word is sacrifice. I'm ready for a weird one. Thanks for coming by. Hope you dig the tunes. This is actually a song I already wrote that's already out. You could go in the dash panel, whatever, and check out the song. There's a music video for it. Just hit 50K on Spotify. Very stoked about that. And I'm just going through how I wrote the song and like the sound design. So, all right, we're in verse 2 now. You hold out for a few measures. Oh, you can hear a nice little guitar solo. Let's hear that. Funny enough, that little guitar line was actually like me screwing around before recording the actual guitar part. Right there when I come in. So this was like unintended. I was just like, you know, screwing around, having fun, improvising before. Perfect. Give me a moment, Decaf. I was like improvising while I was, you know, waiting to get to the part. And I was going to take it out or redo it even, but I was like, no, I like the authenticity. Like that was very candid guitar line. Okay, you can hear there's some side chaining going on with the harmonics of this now. And that's excuse me, that's to kind of get you ready for this 4 on the floor part coming up next. Okay, drums, super simple. Kick and hat. There's a different kick sample for this part. You know, not as huge as that one. This one's a little bit chiller. It's a little bit like round sounding. Anyways, got the guitar part. It just sounds nice, right? Sounds like a vibe. Got the 808s. Also sidechained. Right, very important. What is this? I realize I did this. I have the sidechained guitar and the dry guitar. So I have the sidechain. Why on earth did I do that? I don't know. Maybe that was an accident and I just didn't notice it. Some guitar chugging with the side chaining. Put all them boys together. Of course, we have our little like cymbal samples going on. Classic. And this part's really neat. This was kind of like an after the fact sort of deal. Like when the song was done, after I recorded the vocals, I was like, there needs to be something else going on. So check this out. When I found out about granular synthesis, maybe a few months ago, I just sat down and recorded like 10 minutes of me screwing around with like the sounds. So if you don't know what granular synthesis is, it's basically like you could put in whatever sound you want and it will take a small little, like, I mean, it could be a nanosecond, a half second, 2 seconds long, and it'll play it. It won't play it like from beginning to end each time, like da 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 da. It'll like sweep back and forth through it, like from front to back, like whatever selection you made. That's a very basic way of talking about it. And so you can see I have this sample is actually like incredibly long. This is what it sounds like. This is me screwing around for the first time with it, so it sounds kind of silly. And this is, I'm using Shelter by Porter Robinson to do some granular stuff. See, once you get it right, it starts sounding really pretty. And then it's like, whoa. Like these parts start sounding really very ambient. So I took a part that I liked in it and I made sure it like fit the chords, you know. So this is the actual sound, the gradient stuff. But the important part is this thing called Transgate that I've been using a lot lately. And it's pretty easy to use. You have this like wheel, you can see it moving, and it only lets sound through when it sees the little blue shade. So I programmed that rhythm or whatever, and you could change the resolution. That's why it's called a transgate, because it sounds kind of trancey when you do it in a certain way. I just use it as like to create cool rhythms out of like melodic stuff, you know, like instead of making rhythm with percussive stuff, if you use like the melodic stuff, I don't know, it gives it a cool vibe. I'm also like band passing just a certain section of it and automating that. You can hear it like it opening up right now to give that energy. So we'll put that together. So that's that. Okay, we bring in our little counter melody that we had before. All of our atmospheric stuff is back in. Nothing weird. Okay, there is a little bit of a different thing. So I have the tom and snare build just like before, like the actual drum. Right. But oh man, there's me with my percussion loops again. I'm such a freaking fraud. Straight up just a loop that I thought sounded cool, and I just popped it in there. It's not much, honestly, but that's also me trying to make up for the fact that I feel like a loser for using a loop. Okay, check out this thing. Cool rhythm I programmed. There's a reason for all of those rhythms. I forgot why though. Let me listen to it again. Why did I want to do that rhythm? It's like a really big Latin triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I don't know. I guess that was just the vibe I was feeling. Does it again. So this rhythm only makes sense in my head, probably. So I was just trying to think how to talk about this. So if you listen to the guitar part, or rather like the harmonic rhythm, oh yeah, using that degree to my advantage. Check out this harmonic rhythm. The harmonic rhythm is how fast the chords move. So this goes chord, 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 2, 3, chord, 2. Oh. I was trying to think about that snare thing before. Maybe that's where that comes from. Anyways. So you have this big 3 beat long harmonic movement. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And the snare follows that. Dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, dun, dun, dun. 1, 2, dun, dun, dun. I don't know. It kind of goes along with the. And I don't know. I like her to. That's 2 16th notes and 2 8th notes. I don't know. Just some weird drum thing that I do, I guess. Okay. That's basically everything. Alright, this part is very cool and wacky. So it's like a fake out drop thing. I've written your poem. Doesn't directly use your expression. Is inspired by repression. I hope that's okay. The poem is called Sacrifice. Whoa. Let's check this out. Your expression is bleak, for it conjures annihilated, executed, decimated, slaughtered. It's sounding like a death metal song, or more like a black metal song. Of all the words you could have chosen, is that the best you could have thought of? A word of suffering, agony, affliction. It reminds me of my own addiction. To booze, to haze, to doctor's pills, to vices that simply never fulfill. I'm getting help. I'm reaching out. I want to change. Of this, no doubt. But it's a challenge, a struggle, hardship, and rue. How will I ever get over you? Oh my goodness. That has so many layers. I don't even think I could begin to put stuff together. Decaf whisk, as always. That was very cool. I might have to read that later and try and conjure up some sort of thought for it to, well, I guess sacrifice, right? Very cool. Awesome. I love that. So yeah, there's this little fake out at the second drop. So let's see what's going on with that. So this is just a very standard square wave, little plucky like sound, and I'm playing those chords, like rolling them, and then I bit crush that as if you need to bit crush a square wave anymore. It's a little more like that's the video game sound when you bit crush something, and then I filtered it. Thank you always for your kind word and music. Thank you, Decaf. You rock. Thanks for hanging out. So I have that little whatever. I found this beat online. I tried to make my own with different like 8-bit sounds and stuff like that. I tried to do it. Just couldn't get it sounding authentic. So I just found this like on YouTube. And I guess I have this with it too. Yes, I have this sample and I thought it sounded really cool. So I wanted to make sure I used it. And then back into reality with those two huge snare flaps. And then we got some reverse sounds, it sounded like. This. Just like impact sound. Sounds like an Egyptian thing. It's from Cymatics. So this is like the same drop as the first one, right? Nothing too weird, except we're just starting with like all the percussion stuff. I also added I don't know why I stretched out the open hi-hats that long. Why on earth did I do that? But yeah, I have this cymbal hitting every quarter note now. Because if you were in a band, you go psh, 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 psh. Right, so you'd have that cymbal hitting beat with the open hi-hat. Nice. Classic. The chord stacks, counter melodies, the guitar sound, all that stuff. I added the granular sound right here in the drop, just to, again, I did this like after the fact just to give it like some more depth, some more stuff to do. And then I have a bunch of explosion sounds. Let's listen to them. That's in key. Very important to pitch up your effects so they're in key. Add a cymbal. Like a crowd impact sort of thing. That weird Egyptian sounding one. And then this one sounds like, I don't know. Anyways, just like this huge explosion. If you didn't have those explosions, this is what it would sound like. No sauce. No sauce. Let's hear it again. No sauce. Let's put it back in. That's what I'm talking about. So then I play that counter melody. But I add a electric guitar solo in it. Hear me? Nice, all together. I just had to give it something more than last time because the first chorus was all of those noises. So I needed to add a new noise. And since I'm already playing guitar, I got like the punk rock vibe going on, you know, give it some guitar solo stuff. Okay, that is basically the whole freaking song. Gotta do the vocals now. Let's get into it. Well, let's hear the very ending just because. You'll hear actually at the very end, there's this. I wanna feel like I don't exist. So, when I recorded that at Joel's place, the guy who I go to for all my vocal stuff, my homie, my friend. Like I don't sing very often, and I don't sing very good either. So, like before the session was like when we were getting all the levels and stuff, I was saying like, dude, I don't want to hear myself at all. Like, I want to pretend like you can't hear me. Like, don't put me up in my monitors. I just want to hear the music, and I'm just gonna like just do it, just belt it. Because I'll get like during the session, I'll get really bogged down, and I'll be like, oh my god, I sound so bad. Is that really what I sounded like? Even when you add auto-tune and compression and everything afterwards, like actively listening to it back, it's just like I didn't want to deal with it. So I guess when he was recording levels, he caught me saying this. I want to feel like I don't exist. I want to feel like I don't exist. And he sent that to me. That was part of it. So I pitched it down and stretched it out. I want to feel like I don't exist. Which is actually pretty fitting to put in the song since it's about not existing anymore and choosing to not be here anymore. So I was thinking about not using it. I was like, oh, you know what? It would be fitting to use it at the end. All right, let's talk about the vocals. Look into my eyes, tell me what it's like. Why it's always dark, never see the light. Who can see the truth? Who can tell me why? Why I'm feeling down, never feeling right. Am I live right now? Did I frick something up? Nope. Okay. Cool. So you'll notice this like melody is just the whole song. Those two notes, da na 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 da na na. That's in the drop. That's the main melody. It's kind of in the guitar part. Like, I guess that scale degree 3 kind of follows along. Anyways, you can hear it's very heavily. I didn't do much processing on it. These are the multi-tracks from the studio, from Joel's place. Look into my like, this is with no effects on it, but there's already effects on it, so I can't even show you what it sounds like with no effects. Joel could, and hopefully he never shows the world what it sounds like. Look into my eyes, tell me what it's like. So here it's all very compressed. He does his magic on it. There's auto-tune. And it looks like I also added some compression. To my eyes, tell me what it's like. Just touching it a little bit. I added some low end. I think maybe I felt like he took too much out for this since it's so naked. Like, it's just vocals and guitar. I needed to like fill out more of that low end that you usually do take out of vocals. And I think I automated out. And then I tuned it even more. You can see I like just flatlined the note right here. Look into my eyes, tell me what it's like. Why it's always dark. So there's nothing too much about that. Okay. Is this all the way? Oh, okay. Should I even stay? Maybe I can hope find it. So this is me singing it up an octave higher. Maybe I can hope find another way. Maybe there's no use, so what can I say? And this, like, we were both surprised actually when I recorded this. Like, we recorded the low octave. Maybe. And then I was like, all right, we're going to do an octave higher. And I recorded that, and I was like, Joel was like, damn, dude, that actually sounded good. And I was like, yeah, it kind of did. Like, I never practiced that. I just had it in my head. And together, it sounds very, like, punk, you know, Blink-182, MGK vibe. Maybe I can hope, find another way. Grew up, you know, listening to that kind of music, the really high singers. So I guess that's what my voice kind of sounds like because of it, maybe. I also have this really, really long reverse shot beforehand. Should I even stay? And that's just like a cool effect. Again, if you just take, maybe I can do it right here really quick for anyone wanting to know. Let's try it. So I'm going to record a little bit of the original vocal. Maybe I can. Okay, just got a quick little doinker. Oh shoot, what did I do? What's happening? Oh my god, I screwed everything up. Is that okay? I don't know if it's in the group. Okay, this should be fine. I definitely screwed something up. Okay, I think I fixed it. So here's that sound. Maybe I can. Like, printed, recorded into a thing by itself. Maybe. So I'm going to take the word maybe. Maybe. And I'm going to add a bunch of reverb to it. That's not enough reverb, actually. We need massive reverb. Okay, and then I'm going to record that. Record that sound of all the reverb. And you gotta let it, you know, go out to its full extent. Now we can delete that original thing. And now we're just left with this sound. You can cut off where the like the actual dry vocals start. And then you're left with that sound, and then you just reverse it. I'm gonna normalize it too, so it's louder. And you gotta let it, you know, go out. Oh, did it record me? You gotta let it. Shoot, it recorded me saying that. And you gotta. Oh, no, I recorded myself talking up here because I'm record enabled, and that's how you hear me. Whoopsie daisy. Too many tracks, man. Okay, so there we go. Now we got this. Anyways, that's how you do it. I mean, I did it way better when it's an actual song. Inching further lowest, should I even stay? Maybe I can hope find another way. So I got those octaves, and I did this reverse shot for every beginning of the line. So I did a new like recording, reverb, print, reverse for everyone because the syllables won't match up, right? Let me use like the wrong reverb with the wrong part. Here, the reverse sound is going but I end up saying inching, which is different. It's going from to and it just doesn't. It's a tiny detail, but it doesn't flow as nicely. You have this one is so it flows better into that syllable. Inching further now, same with this one. Looks like you can hear it. This sounds like it's just going ooh, like the L. Ooh, looks like this is it. Guess it's time to go. Sweet. So these crowd chants. There's high. Low sounds terrible, and then it's just me yelling it. And put it together. Trying to get the crowd chant vibe, you know, like the good old days. Guess it's time to go. It's time to go. Same thing. Okay. You said that everything's alright. Nice. So this is like a very nice, cute little melody. You said that everything's alright. And this is the way this is recorded, and like Joel suggested, the vocal god is you said that everything's alright. So there's me singing that once right down the middle. You said. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I'm talking about something else, dude. That didn't even happen. So I have the main melody. You said that everything's alright. And the harmony to the left and right. You said. So here's the left. There's the right. So it's like everything has its own space, which I think is important in this little spot because everything is very naked. Like you can't like hear anything except for the vocals, basically. You said that everything's alright. So it sounds real big. And as for the actual harmony, they're not exactly thirds. Let's get a little into some theory stuff. So this is in D major, and the melody goes A, F sharp, A, F sharp. Okay, so that's scale degree 5-3, 5-3. So if you were to harmonize that in thirds, like you usually would, from 5-3, 5-3, then you would get 7-5, 7-5 to harmonize over that. And the 7th scale degree doesn't sit well over the chord that's being played or implied, which is a D major chord. It's being implied. So that C sharp would make a major 7, which major 7s usually sound good over a major chord, but in this context, when you actually bring it up to a fourth, you end up hitting that scale degree 1 again, and you want to hit that scale degree 1 since we're on a 1 chord, which is D major. But it doesn't, we don't stay doing fourths the whole time, because when the harmony goes to 5, 7, 5, that scale degree 5 fits well. Otherwise, if you stayed with fourths, let me try and like play this with the piano. This is something that you would even only understand what I'm saying if you already knew like what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I kind of feel stupid talking about this. So here's the melody. So usually when you harmonize stuff, you would just use thirds. So it would sound like this. Okay, the end of that sounded really nice. But the beginning right here, you said that everything was right. It doesn't feel right because we're over a D chord. And that C sharp isn't in the chord. So just for that one note, we move it up to a D, and that's scale degree 1. You said. So that's why you gotta do that. Plus, it's something that you just kind of hear. Like if you try to sing that melody, you'd be like, oh, it doesn't sound right. You said that everything's alright. All that fits in really well, chords and stuff. And then the same thing with different words. I held my head and drifted into the night. I've always kind of been interested about this delay. Why does that happen? I held my head and drifted into the night. Oh, okay, I guess I just put some delay on there. So this is called a delay throw, where I'm only putting the delay on a certain part of the word. You can see right here, this blue line is when the delay is being sent. So if I just do this. I held my head and drifted into the night. So you can hear the part that was brought up is the only part that's going on. Also, can you hear how awfully out of tune I am? Like that just goes to show you I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I held my head and drifted into the night. But there's so many other vocal sounds going on, you can't notice it in the full mix. I held my head and drifted into the night. So maybe I can hope. And then we got the same part right here. So maybe I can hope, find another way. There's just a harmony on it. Maybe there's no use, so what can I say? Inching further now, maybe then I'll know. And there's also me just screaming the words, not in pitch thing. So stupid. This was something that I was not like prepared to do. We were done like tracking everything, and I was like, there needs to be more energy. So maybe I can. Yeah, let me take the yelling out. So maybe I can hope, find another way. And let me bring it back in. So maybe I can hope, find another way. You know what I'm saying? Just gives it like maybe more of that, like no use, you're in a crowd. What can I say? Inching further now, maybe then I'll know. Looks like this is it. Guess it's time to go. And if you are watching the last stream where I went over the I Set My Friends on Fire cover, you can hear this tape stop, which is a really cool plugin from Kilohertz that, let me do this really quick. This is like a dream come true for me because I always want to do this sound, but it's so hard to actually create it. You have to like print stuff and automate the pitch and the time and everything. But with this, I can just press this button.
Looks like this. Guess who? We go. So we're in tune. Right now. Right now.
So that's tight, and then I just put it right where I want it.
Guess it's time to go.
Boom. There it is.
Guess it's time to go. Guess it's time to go. Guess it's time to go.
And there you have it. I don't exist. A hard stop there on the guitar. Very cool. All right, that's that. I think I'm gonna play some piano now. So stick around. Just gonna be vibing, just chilling. Sweet. Let's get into that mode. Oh yeah, I just put out new merch. Looks like this is it. Guess it's time to go. If you use the code YEET, then you get free shipping to anyone watching. YEET, free shipping. Cool. I'm gonna set this up for some piano.